Hi, I'm Scott with KORGEO. In this video, I'm going to walk you through how to get started on the KORGEO platform. We'll cover how to create your account, setting up your first event using the wizard, and finally, an overview of the features you'll use once you start taking registrations. Okay, let's get started. By the way, feel free to pause this video as we go along if you need time to complete a step. Okay, so the first step is to create your account. So navigate to race.korgeo.com and click the sign up button. Fill out the form with your information, email address, and password you want to use, and then click sign up. Now this is going to generate an email to the account that you provided. So you'll need to go into that account and click the confirm link in the email we sent you before you can log in. That's an important step. Okay, now let's go to the sign in page and get signed in with our credentials. Okay, now that we're signed in, we're going to come to this landing page, which is going to show you the list of events that you have configured. Now, if you just logged in for the first time, you won't see any events here. But once you create your event, it'll be listed here each time you log in. All right, let's go create our event. So this is the wizard, and we have multiple steps in the wizard. Not every one of them is required, but when you see the asterisk next to a field, then you need to fill that out before you can save the event. Let's call this event the Boys and Girls Club Turkey Trot. So that's the name that's going to appear on our registration page. And then we also have a field for a subtitle. So this is sort of the theme of the event. The summary area is where you describe the event in more detail, and you have control over the look and feel. So you can play around with the colors, the fonts, the formatting, and make it look just the way you want. I'm going to paste in some text here just to save some time. So as you can see, I've got different fonts here and different sizes and colors and so on to make it a little bit more interesting. Next, we're going to set the date of the event. So in our fictitious event, we're going to say it's on Thanksgiving of 2023. And then our start time, let's make that 9 a.m. Make sure you put in the AM PM here, and then set the time zone you're in and the event to, or the URL to the event website. If you don't have one, once we're done configuring this event, you'll see that we provide a microsite that you can use. In this case, I'm just going to put in our website here. So you could put in a placeholder if you don't have a site already, and then come back and update this with the link to the microsite. Next, we have our waiver. This is the out-of-the-box text that we provide you. You're welcome to use it. If you have your own waiver, then you can paste over this text. And this is what will show up on the registration page that your participants will have to agree to. Next is our venue. This is where the event's going to take place, so just configure it with the venue information. In our case, it's going to be at the Boys and Girls Club. And then let's add the address information. The event pen is the pen that you will use to enter into the timing laptop when you're ready to download your event. More on that later. Okay, the last step in setting up the event information is to add our logo. So I'm going to drag that from my desktop, and that will upload to the site. All right, we're all done here, so let's click next to go to the next step. Okay, in this step, the race distances, this is where we configure all the distances for our event. So you may have a kiddie run, 5K, 10K, half marathon, and you add them all here. In our case, we're going to configure a kiddie run and a 5K. So just type in kiddie run. When is it going to start? So let's say that starts at 9 a.m. And I need to put my AM in here. and select our distance, which is kiddie run. And we don't typically time these events, or at least most events don't time the kiddie run. It's just for fun. So we won't have a distance here, and uncheck timed. And that way this event information won't download to the timing laptop. All right, let's configure our 5K. So we have a 5K run walk. And let's start that at, well, let's just say 9:30. And select 5K from our list here, and that will auto-populate the distance. If you wanted to create a custom distance, you can simply type it in here. Let's say for the kiddie run, we want to create a custom distance of 1/2 mile. Then I can configure that. But since we're not timing it, it really doesn't matter. All right, so we've got the 5K configured. It's 3.11 miles, and it is timed. And so we'll say we had a 10K. We can configure that as well. And by the way that you name these is the way in which they'll show up on the registration page. So if I put in 10K, and let's just say that's a run, not a walk, then that's going to show up on our registration page as a 10K run. And let's do that at 9:30 as well. Well, let's say 9:35. Let's let the 5Kers go off first. And let's select our distance, 10K, at 6.21 miles. It is timed. Good. So now we have our race distances configured. And let's move to the next step. In this step, we're going to configure the fee windows for each of our distances. And what that means is that we want to charge a lesser amount for each distance earlier in the sign-up period. And then as we get closer to the event, we're going to charge a little bit more to encourage people to sign up early. So let's start with our kiddie run. So let's say for the kiddie run, we're going to have an early registration period. And for that, let's say it's going to be $10. And that expires in this event. So this is our turkey trot happening at Thanksgiving. Just for simplicity, let's say that expires October 1st. And let me get my year in there. Okay. And that's going to expire at 11:59 at night. p.m. Okay. Okay. Now let's add the late registration for the kiddie run. And that's going to be an increased amount by $5. And let's have that expire the day before Thanksgiving at 11:59 p.m. Let's set up the registration windows for the 5K. So let's charge $25 for that early registration period and end that in mid-September. And we'll do that at noon, right before noon on the 15th, just to show that you can use different dates and times here. For the 5K, we're going to have 3 registration windows, early, regular, and late. And you can call these whatever you want, whatever makes sense for your event. We'll bump it up by $5 and end it on October 1st. And then let's add our last registration window for the 5K. We'll call that late and end it right before Thanksgiving. And let's say we want to end that registration window earlier in the day to give us time to prepare the race bibs and assign the beacon. So let's say I want to end this at 6 p.m. the day before Thanksgiving. Put my PM in here, and now registration will close at 6 p.m. on that day. Let's add the last event and configure its registration window. So for our 10K, we're just going to have one period for this. We'll call it regular. charge $45. We'll end this at 6 p.m. We have all our distances configured with the appropriate registration windows. And if you want to change this later on, you can through the event settings. Let's proceed to the next step. In step 4 of the wizard, we're going to configure the apparel that we are offering for our event. Now, if you're not offering a shirt, then you can go to the next step. But if you are offering a race shirt, then navigate to the drop down next to Add Product Group. By selecting one of these options, we will pre-populate a list of shirt types. So if you pick gender specific, there will be 2 groups created, one for men, one for women. If you choose unisex, we'll just create 1 group. And so there you have it. There's a group of shirts, all the same shirt type because it is unisex. Let's rename this to race shirt. And this is what will be displayed on the registration page as an option for your participants to select as they sign up. Now, if I wanted to add a new shirt type, like say extra small, well then I would add it here, and now that will be an available option on the registration page. If the shirt is included in your event price, then just leave this price blank. But if you're going to make it optional where someone can buy a shirt, then you'll add the value that you want to charge for that. And then check this box, selection of an item is optional, and then they don't have to select a shirt. We'll get into these other options a little later on, but for now, that's the basic steps for setting up a shirt. If you want to offer different products on your registration page, you can add those here, and they will show up as an option to be selected. So let's say we want to offer a water bottle and charge $15 for that. Then now this will show up on my registration page along with a race shirt, where it's an option that can be selected, and then when they check out, they'll be charged $15 for that. Okay, we're all set with this step. Let's move on to the next. If you're going to use discount codes in your marketing, then you can configure those here. Click the Add button and enter the name you want to give to that discount code. So in this case, I want to give $5 off. So I'm going to call this code 5OFF. And anyone that has 5 off and enters that into the registration page will get $5 off their registration price. You can configure this to be specific to a distance, or can configure this for all distances. I'm going to choose all. And then there's a discount type of essentially dollars or percentages. So if I choose percentage, it's going to give 5% off. If I enter 5 here, then and choose percent off, then that's going to give 5% off the purchase price. If I choose 5 and dollar off, then it's going to give $5 off the purchase price. Next, I want to configure the windows. So let's just choose 501, 2023 to okay, so then that discount code will expire and no longer be available on September 1st. I can also set the number of uses that I want to make available. So what I would do for my events is that, let's say I had a sponsor that donated some amount of money to my event, I would in turn give them discount codes that they could distribute to their employees. But I wanted to limit that. So maybe we only allow them to have 10 employees get the discount. So then you can set it here. And then this will be tracked, and as this code is used, then in the used column over here, this will increment, and you'll know how many of those discount codes were used and then how many are left. And you can add additional discount codes here as you see fit. Okay, on to the next step. The platform also offers a way for volunteers to sign up for your event. In this step, we will configure the volunteer positions we'd like to fill, such as volunteers for water stations, course marshals, and help at the finish line handing out medals or food. After clicking add, enter the position name, description, number of people needed, and the start and end time. For example, for a water station, let's just enter water station 1. We might have multiple. And a description, and the number of people needed. So you may need, 5 people for a water station. And on race day, we want them there at 7:30 to set up. And they'll be done around, let's say 9. Just to give them an idea what the time commitment is. We can add additional volunteer positions. So let's say we need a course marshal at mile 1. We just need 1 there. And let's do 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. And then you can go through and add all the different positions you need filled. And again, this will show up on the volunteer registration page where volunteers can sign up for each of these positions. All right, let's go to the next step. If you want others from the event team to help you manage the event on the KORGEO platform, then you can add them here as an administrator and then assign them the appropriate role. So click add. I've got an email box here, so I'm going to enter the email of the person that I want to have help me and then assign the appropriate role, which will give them the permissions to do certain things. As a member, they can do pretty much everything except change the fee windows and the price charged for each event. A timer has the ability to download the event to the timing software, and then the timer assistant can take race day registrations. I'm not going to configure any right now, so I'll hit delete, and I'm going to go to the final step, the finish line. We're going to make our event live now. Okay, the event's been created successfully. Now to view your event, navigate to Top Tasks, click View Events, and all your events will be listed here. You have one so far. If you click on that, it'll take you to the dashboard. The dashboard provides you with easy access to see the number of registrations you've taken, the amount of revenue, and the amount of donations that you have received for the event. If you navigate over to event settings, you can click into each of these sections and make changes that you set previously in the wizard. You can collapse that and then move to participants. These are the reports that show you a list of the participants that have signed up for your event. You can click on manual registration to navigate to the registration page to enter registrations for people that have mailed in a form. So you're manually creating that registration for them. And then you can also upload participants from other registration platforms here. Moving down, let's take a look at the reports. There are, I think, 14 reports here that will show you who registered, who's participating in the event, race day signups, and so on. So this is a great way to view the status of the event, and you can export all these reports to Excel or CSV files. Then lastly, communications. This is the tools that you can use to email people that have signed up. So you want to let them know information about the event. And then also you can email folks that have started the registration process but then didn't complete it. So you might send them a note that says, hey, I see that you've signed up for the event, or you started to sign up for the event and didn't complete the registration. Is there anything I can help you with? So that's a great tool for communication. The last thing I want to show you is how to get to the registration links for your event. So let's go back to event settings and then navigate to URLs. And then here you'll see my registration page link. So if I click on that, it will open that page up, and you can simply copy this link and paste it into your website to provide registration services for your potential participants. And as I scroll down, you'll see that all my events I've configured are listed here, and these will change automatically as the registration windows change. So if we go back to the event settings, I have other links. So I have a landing page link, which is a way for you to provide a microsite for the event. So if you don't have your own website, then feel free to use this one, and you can publish this link out to newsletters and put that in emails, however you communicate with your potential participants. And then if they click the register button, they'll go to the registration page for your event. Then we also have a volunteer sign-up page where your volunteer positions will be listed, a paper registration form that gets automatically generated for your paper or manual registration. So if you have folks that do not want to sign up online and they want to mail you a check, then you can use this registration form for that purpose. And then lastly, the results page. So clicking on that link will take us to the results page for this event. You'll send this out after the race is over, or during the race for that matter. The race timing software will upload results automatically during the event, provided that you have a Wi-Fi connection. So you could send this out prior to the event's end, and people could view results in real time. Okay, well that wraps it up for this video of getting started with the KORGEO platform. Thank you for your time today.